We have some breaking news on Dolphins Today. The Miami Dolphins have fired defensive coordinator Josh Boyer just a couple days after the conclusion of the 2022 season. With how the defense performed this year, I think a lot of us saw this coming, and now it is official. The Miami Dolphins tweeting this: "We have parted ways with defensive coordinator Josh Boyer and made additional changes to the coaching staff." We'll get into all the changes they made here in a second. But, folks, what do I tell y'all? This is why you subscribe. We're live just minutes after this news came out. We get you guys breaking Dolphins news right as it goes down. Subscribe and turn on your notifications because it is going to be a very busy off-season in Miami. You want to make sure you stay in the loop. Go down, subscribe to the channel. That is the sublink right there. Here are all the coaches that have been let go. I'm honestly a little bit surprised by the number of changes that were made today. I'm not that surprised about Boyer. I thought it was going to happen a little bit earlier in the week. I mean, I woke up today and saw that he still had a job. And I'm like, man, maybe they're just going to run it back with him next year. But they have moved on from Boyer. Mike McDaniel waited a few days. He was asked at the Monday press conference about is Josh Boyer going to be back. He's like, you know what? The season ended less than 24 hours ago. I want to take some time here. He did take some time and probably made the right decision with Boyer. Steve Gregory, the safeties coach, has also been let go. Ty McKenzie, the outside linebackers coach, and Steve Ferentz, the assistant linebackers coach, have all been let go. And I think the thinking here is McDaniel wants the new DC to have a chance to kind of put together his own defensive staff, give him the power to do that. So that's why he's letting Gregory, McKenzie, and Ferentz go. It gives them an opportunity maybe to look for some other opportunities because they probably weren't going to be on the staff under the new defensive coordinator. And letting go of Josh Boyer is 100% the right decision. And I understand a lot of people are going to say, well, there's a lot of injuries and all this. The injuries were not a good enough excuse to how the defense performed this year. You're talking about the worst road defense in the league. The Dolphins gave up 31 points per game on the road this season, obviously contributing to the road woes Miami had this year, especially down the stretch. Again, a lot of y'all saying injuries. Here are all the injuries that happened defensively this year. Byron Jones, we didn't see him all year. He was supposed to be back around training camp. He missed the entire season after off-season ankle surgery. True Williams, he was showing a lot of promise in the preseason, but he tore his ACL in the first preseason game. Nick Needham tore his Achilles, so a couple of your top corners out. Brandon Jones tore his ACL. Emmanuel Ogbah tore his triceps, and Trey Flowers with a foot injury sidelined him for the rest of the season. But again, the injuries, just not a good enough excuse. You saw the numbers we put on screen a few minutes ago. They're really, really bad. We'll take another look at them here. I mean, 24th in scoring defense, 18th in yards per game, 27th in passing defense. Now, the rushing defense was good, so credit where credit's due. Rushing defense was top 5 in the league. Third down defense is kind of where I had a problem with Boyer. Some of these third down packages, I mean, the middle of the field was just wide open. I mean, you could freaking put a cruise ship right there. I mean, the middle of the field with the Dolphins, it was just wide open. It was exposed time and time again throughout the season. The third down defense was really bad. It's probably one of the main reasons that Josh Boyer got fired. But even with the injuries, there was too much talent on the defensive side of the ball for the Dolphins to rank pretty much bottom third of the league in most defensive categories. So Mike McDaniel, as I mentioned last week, probably the first firing he's had to make. And it's the right decision letting go of Josh Boyer. And there's a lot of good candidates out there right now. The earlier that McDaniel acted with Boyer, the better chance he has to go out and get a guy like Vic Fangio, perhaps. Now, are you happy with this move? Y for yes, N for no, down in the comment section. Go down, let me know. I think most Dolphins fans are very happy with the move that was just made. And you're going to be happy if you download Rocket Money because they're going to help you cancel unnecessary subscriptions. It's why I love using the app formerly called Truebill, now called Rocket Money. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel one, all you got to do is press cancel. Rocket Money will take care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/DolphinsChat. It could seriously save you hundreds per year. That's rocketmoney.com/DolphinsChat. I found out through Rocket Money that I was spending way too much money on eating out. And I'm like, you know what? I got to do a better job of that this year. My New Year's resolution, my big one, was to save money. Rocket Money's helped me do that. I use the app almost daily. You will do the same, I promise. You'll enjoy it as well. rocketmoney.com/DolphinsChat. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Again, the Dolphins have announced that they have moved on from defensive coordinator Josh Boyer. He had been with the Dolphins since the 2020 season, so he was actually retained under new head coach Mike McDaniel. And a lot of times when a new head coach comes in, he'll completely clean house. He'll completely put together his own staff. But he wanted to retain Josh Boyer. And it was reported that a lot of players were not happy with that decision. This coming from Omar Kelly before the season. So this is a little bit after McDaniel announced that Boyer was going to stay. I can tell you this is a fact. Players on defense are not very pleased with Josh Boyer being named defensive coordinator. We'll see what happens here because they know that Boyer's scheme, concepts, and approach did not lead to success last year. And I'll take you back to last year when Brian Flores was still the head coach. He actually took over the play calling in November. Remember when the Dolphins started 1-7? Josh Boyer was the defensive coordinator during that stretch. In fact, he was 2-7 as the defensive play caller in 2021. Brian Flores was 7-1. So I think a lot of people had questions coming into this year about, okay, was the defensive success at the end of the 2021 season because of Josh Boyer or Brian Flores? We kind of knew that it was Brian Flores, and we know that Josh Boyer might be a fraud. And Josh Boyer was put to the test this year. He didn't have Brian Flores. He was obviously working with a offensive-minded head coach, Mike McDaniel. So the defense, it was Josh Boyer's show, and it failed. And Josh Boyer has been let go. It is the right decision. There's a lot of good candidates out there. And look, for the Dolphins, what do they say? Defense wins championships. You're not going to win a championship with this guy as your defensive coordinator. If they would have brought him back, I would have understood it a little bit because of the injuries. But I'm just looking at some of these third down packages that Boyer was putting together, and I'm like, it's costing you games, costing you a chance to maybe make a playoff run. Who do you want to replace Josh Boyer? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. I think a lot of y'all are going to say Vic Fangio. A lot of y'all are going to say Chris Richard. We're going to talk about both those guys tomorrow on our Josh Boyer replacement show. So be sure to tune in for that. Sam Madison might be on there just as an internal candidate, but that will be tomorrow's show. And I know a lot of people are also going to say, well, Josh Boyer, called a good game against Buffalo. You have to look at the whole body of work. You have to look at the whole season. Yeah, he actually did call a good game in the second half against Buffalo, kept Miami in that game with some of the pressure he put on Josh Allen, forcing 3 turnovers. But I'm looking at the whole season, and if you're looking at the whole season, you cannot bring this guy back, and Mike McDaniel will immediately start the search for the Dolphins' new defensive coordinator.